Okay. So hi everybody, my name is Jessica Chan. I'm the Executive Director of Oakland Chinatown Chamber of Commerce. And today, this week is the Oakland Small Business Week. And so we try to host some webinars that can benefit our merchants. And so today we invite West Management, Echo to join us and then to talk about composting and recycling and why doing all those will be great for the small business.
係各位參加者，你哋好。我係 Jessica Chan， 係屋崙華埠商會嘅執行董事。咁咧，我哋咧今日好高興咧，呢個星期係我哋屋崙小商業週。咁咧，我哋咧希望喺呢個星期裏邊咧，就為你哋提供唔同嘅網上會議幫到大家嘅業務。今日咧，我哋請到我哋嘅垃圾收集公司 Waste Management 嘅兩位同事Tong 先生同埋Echo 李小姐嚟到同我哋講一啲關於堆肥啦、回收啦，點樣對我哋嘅商業有咩好處嘅。
Yeah, so since now we only have few participants, and maybe we can go around so everybody can kind of introduce and talk a little bit about themselves, what kind of work they've done, and then just to share a little bit. But I think for the I don't know, for this introduction part, I don't know, do we need to have a translation? Maybe. So, yeah,
the rest are all staff, right?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you. Yeah, if it is English is okay, then I'll stand by.
Yes, until we go to the
more
presentation part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Presentation part. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So please start from Echo, I believe.
Yeah. So hi everyone. My name is Echo. I work for Waste Management, and I've been with the company for the last couple of years, primarily working with the commercial accounts in Oakland. We also do a lot of partner engagement in Oakland, working on issues regarding illegal dumping, cleaning up streets, and making sure we reach out to different communities. And I will also let my colleague Brandon introduce himself.
Oh, thank you, Echo. My name is Brandon Tong. I also work with Waste Management. I'm one of Echo's colleagues. I primarily look over the areas in the Orloma Sanitary District, which is parts of San Leandro, parts of Hayward, San Lorenzo, and parts of Castro Valley, working with businesses and commercial businesses and multifamilies as well. So just here to assist Echo in whatever she needs.
Dan, would you join us, please?
I'm Dan. I'm also from Waste Management. I am here just for moral support in the presentation.
Thank you, Dan. So anybody else?
I'm Yik Fai Tam. I'm the interpreter to facilitate the meeting.
Cindy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, my name is Cindy, and I'm the administrative assistant for the Oakland Chinatown Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. Erica, are you here with us? Do you want to introduce yourself? Okay. All right. So I guess maybe Erica's away, not convenient to introduce herself, but it's okay. So yeah, like yesterday, like I say, this event sponsored by Oakland, City of Oakland, and then we try to educate our small business owners how to do the business better and how to working with the city and how to learn about a payment or marketing something. So every year we have all different topics. We invite different speakers to join us, and we provide bilingual webinar. So to support our small business owners in Chinatown. And so today, actually before last year I joined webinar right after COVID happened, and then that's how I met Echo. And then and I think this presentation is really good. So that's why we want to bring to Chinatown. And even though we don't have many attendees today, but we still I'm still recording, so we'll be able to share after the video. So that would be great. So Echo, it's your time.
Sure. Well, okay, just in case if I mute myself, please wave your hands. So I would like today's discussion to be a little bit more interactive, and we are going to do the Cantonese translation. So I will speak a little bit slower and give Phi some time to translate.
好多謝各位今日參加我希望咧我陣間嗰個報告咧會係比較互動少少，同大家係有彼此嘅交流嘅。由於有翻譯嘅服務咧，所以咧我會講得比較慢少少，咁樣希望個翻譯咧可以更加全面俾你帶出個信息。
So waste management has been servicing Oakland and Alameda County since 1986.
我哋公司 Waste Management 咧，其實已經由1986年開始咧服務緊屋崙市同埋阿拉美達縣㗎啦。
We partner with different municipalities to provide collection services.
我哋同唔同嘅市政府都有合作去收集廢物。
We also utilize advanced technology for waste reduction and sorting.
我哋咧亦都採取咗先進嘅科技協助我哋將廢物垃圾減少同埋分類。
And provide free education and outreach, as well as training on organics and recycling setup and education.
我哋咧主動咧向社區提供咧免費嘅教育服務，係幫助大家認識有機同埋回收垃圾嘅各方面。
So this is really meant to be a discussion. Maybe you can help me out here as well. So if you were a business, or if you're business owners here, can you just share with me what are generally your business goals?
我咧希望咧我呢個報告唔單止係我講，係會係一個彼此討論啦。咁參加者可以唔可以同我哋分享下咧？你哋自己嘅商業，你哋自己業務咧，主要嘅目標係乜嘢咧？
I will pick on somebody.
我會揀一啲人出嚟回答，參與討論。
How about Cindy? You give it a shot.
請 Cindy 同我哋分享啊。
Like what I would do if I were a business, or
yeah, just give me one goal. Like if you were a business owner, what would be one of your goals?
即係如果你係一個商業嘅擁有人，你嘅業務嘅目標係咩咧？只要俾一個目標我就得㗎啦。
To limit waste.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
產生有限嘅廢物。
What about you?
I'll go.
Sure.
How about saving money or 慳錢?
Okay, Brandon 佢話咗係慳錢，其實業務目標嚇。
Dan, do you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, it would be about, how can I make my business successful? How can I save money on my operational costs, things that I have to spend money on?
Right.
希望點幫到我個業務咧揀到慳錢之餘，仲可以成功賺錢。
Yeah, and I can speak for the merchants. They want to cost down. They want to, spend less money on the trash service, but also they don't want to get fined if they don't know what to do.
我可能可以代表我哋歐倫嘅一啲鋪頭講啦，我希望我哋嘅成本減低啦，希望咧我哋嘅廢物咧亦都可以減少，同埋咧唔會因為處理得唔好而被罰款。
Great, thank you. Erica, did you want to add to that?
Eric 可唔可以同我哋有冇一啲新嘅嘢可以加落嚟？呢個作為商業目標。
Okay. Well, feel free to jump in anytime. Today, what I would hope to have demonstrated by the end of this session is to show you that really business goals and our goals are really one of the same. Our goals in collection service is to make sure that your business can thrive, to help enable a clean environment, and so that your communities and business will grow.
我希望咧，今日我哋呢個會議完咗之後咧，你會知道咧，其實你哋嘅商業目標咧就同我哋公司嘅業務目標係一致嘅。我哋希望咧，透過我哋嘅服務咧，使到你哋嘅業務都能夠得到發展，同埋咧，我哋服務嘅城市咧都可以係一個有個清潔同健康嘅環境。
So today we're going to be looking at why it's important to have adequate service, composting and recycling services.
我跟住咧就會講一講咧，點解我哋需要有足夠嘅垃圾收集服務啦。另外乜嘢係堆肥啦，同埋乜嘢係回收。
We're also
我哋嘅商業有咩影響啊？
We're also going to look at the economic, health and environmental benefits.
我哋會談論到咧喺回收同埋堆肥呢啲服務咧，對經濟、健康同環境嘅好處。
What are the laws in place and resources that you can utilize to help you succeed?
同埋會談及一啲我哋現行嘅法律，同埋有啲乜嘢資源可以幫到你哋嘅業務發展。
So to start off, let's look at the cost.
OK。首先我哋睇一睇咧我哋嗰個成本支出係咩嘢先啊？
Here we have a price comparison for a 2-yard bin.
You're not sharing the presentation right now. It's like on the actual, it's not like in presentation mode.
湯先生提醒Echo 佢未開始做嗰個幻燈片嘅報告。
Okay.
Try resharing maybe, and then presentation mode. Or do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah. Are you able to share it?
You want me to share it?
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you meant.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can do it. Hold on. Let me know if you see it. It should be working. Yes? Okay.
There you go, yeah. Mhm.
OK，
Okay.
係啦。
So let's start off by looking at the cost savings.
我哋首先講一講點可以慳翻一啲成本嚇。
So we have the price comparison of a 2-yard bin between trash, organics, and recycling services.
喺左手邊嗰個表度咧，我哋有一個比較咧，分別唔同種類嘅回收，包括垃圾啦、有機物啦，同埋一個可以回收嘅3種唔同嘅垃圾箱嚇，每個月嘅收費。
So a trash service for 2-yard bin is $400, whereas organics would be at about $300, and recycling would cost about $200 to $300, depending on your location.
咁咧就每個月咧一個2碼嘅一個回收桶咧，係垃圾桶嘅收費咧就係415蚊，而 有機物品嘅回收費咧就係311蚊，咁一啲回收物就係200至300蚊，視乎你嘅商業嘅地點而定。
So your trash service is actually priced at a higher cost than organics and recycling services.
其實所以你一睇到咧，如果你淨係用垃圾嗰個嘅支出咧，係高於堆肥同埋回收兩種服務嘅收費嘅。
And on top of that, for example, a restaurant typically can generate 20 to 30% of food waste, which would go into the organics bin.
另外咧，喺另外一個例子就係一間食店咧，通常咧佢哋都會生產到20%至30%嘅食物廢物嘅。
And you would
呢啲廢物係可以用嚟做堆肥作用。
And you would also generate a lot of cardboards, cans, and bottles, which would go into the recycling bin.
同埋呢間食店亦都會產生好多卡通紙啦、罐啦，同埋玻璃樽嘅。
So if you make sure that you separate correctly by sorting out your organics and recycling, those collection services are going to save you some money.
所以如果能夠正確將你嘅所產生嘅垃圾分類去到唔同嘅堆肥或者回收咧，其實可能係可以慳到你嘅支出嘅。
What's also more important is that to have adequate service and to recycle right are required by law.
所以咧要有足夠嘅服務同埋正確嘅回收咧，係現行法例要求嘅。
And if you do not meet these requirements, you will be fined by the county and the city for the different requirements.
如果你唔能夠滿足呢個法例嘅要求咧，你嘅業務咧好可能會鋪頭會受到縣政府或者市政府唔同法例嘅罰款嘅。
So in Alameda County, we have what's called mandatory recycling ordinance.
阿拉米達縣咧，我哋有一個叫做強制回收法例。
So the requirement is for a business to source separate, and that means to put your trash only in the trash bin, recycling in the recycling bin, and compostable materials in the compost bin.
法例嘅要求咧，每個商業咧係將佢哋所產生嘅唔同類型嘅廢物分成垃圾啦、回收啦，同埋堆肥。
And the materials cannot mix in the different bins.
唔同嘅產生嘅唔同嘅廢物咧係唔可以撈亂擺喺唔同嘅回收桶裏邊嘅。
So for example, if the county does inspection and they find a soda can in your trash can, you can be cited for being out of compliance.
所以如果縣政府嘅嚟做突擊檢查嗰時，如果發現一個汽水罐係抌咗落去一個垃圾桶裏邊咧，你就會被因為呢條法例而罰款嘅。
Or if they find that you have food waste that went into the recycling bin, that could be potentially another fine for that violation.
如果佢同時又發現咧有啲咧食物咧你係可作回收嘅，而你又抌咗去個回收桶裏邊咧，可以作堆肥而抌咗去回收桶裏邊咧，你亦都會因為呢件事情而再罰款嘅。
As well, if any of the bins do not have sufficient service, meaning if you consistently have bags that are not trash bags or food bags that's not fitting in the bins, you can get another citation for having insufficient service.
另外一個叫做不足夠嘅服務就係當我哋經常發現咧，你嗰個垃圾喺垃圾桶以外都有其他垃圾包裝抌咗喺度嘅咧，你亦都會被罰款。
Lastly, training and having signage on your bins are also additional requirements, part of the mandatory recycling ordinance.
呢條強制回收法例咧，亦都要求你對你嘅員工咧提供訓練，同埋咧喺個垃圾唔同嘅類型嘅垃圾回收裏邊咧提供標記。如果你冇做到呢方面嘅工作，亦都會被罰。
I will pause here. Does anyone have any questions?
我會稍停一陣，睇下大家有冇問題想發問。
So just have a look at these two pictures here. It may be a little bit obvious. What do you see?
我哋可以睇下呢兩張圖片啦，好明顯你睇到啲乜嘢咧？
Trash.
Okay.
垃圾。
Is it okay the way it is? What do you think? What are the possible problems with this picture?
你覺得呢啲圖片有冇問題咧？你覺得呢啲圖片所顯示嘅狀況有啲咩可能嘅問題會出現咧？
The healthy danger.
健康嘅問題啦，衞生問題啦。
Overages on the land.
Right. Well, let's put it this way. I know we're probably used to seeing this quite a lot in the Bay Area, but this is far from ideal, right?
我哋可能咧喺sorry.
Go ahead.
OK， 可能喺灣區，我哋經常見到呢啲咁嘅情景嘅，但係呢啲情景係同比起一個我哋希望見到嘅現象，其實係相差好遠嘅。
And more importantly, overflowing trash is really they can attract pests and breed diseases, and things like illegal dumping and litter can be a public health concern.
事實上咧，喺垃圾箱以外堆放物法咧，垃圾咧係會引嚟蟲鼠，甚至滋生唔同嘅疾病嘅。非法咁樣拋棄垃圾咧，係一個公共衛生嘅問題嚟嘅。
So it's quite important, especially during COVID, is to have clean streets so that we can have a healthy environment. And having that healthy environment will also help improve your business environment.
尤其是喺而家呢個疫情大流行期間咧，一個清潔嘅街道本身咧係可以建造一個做成一個健康嘅生活環境，而呢個健康嘅生活環境其實係可以改善你嘅營商環境嘅。
But what's also really important is that waste diversion is really about fighting climate change.
另外一個好重要嘅一點咧，就係咧將垃圾分類咧係我哋對抗氣候轉變一個好重要嘅一環嚟嘅。
So in 2019, California landfilled 43 million tons of materials.
喺2019年咧，加州嘅垃圾堆填咧，其實係堆填咗4300萬噸嘅廢物。
And over 40% of that material were actually compostable and recyclable materials.
而呢4300萬噸堆填嘅廢物咧，其實有40%咧可以係用作堆肥或者循環再用。
So imagine how much of that 43 million didn't have to go into the landfill.
我哋可諗試幻想一下，如果呢40%可以回收或者可以堆肥嘅物件冇去到堆填區，會係一個點嘅狀況咧？
So reducing methane is really to slow down the effects of climate change.
減少甲烷氣嘅排放咧，係可以減慢我哋個氣候改變嘅。
Because methane is a harmful gas that exacerbates climate change, whereas composting and recycling will reduce the landfill methane emissions.
喺垃圾堆填而產生嘅甲烷咧，係一種有害嘅氣體，會加劇氣候嘅改變。而喺堆肥同埋回收過程裏邊減少垃圾堆填咧，亦都會減少咗甲烷嘅釋放。
And quite importantly, especially nowadays, is that methane reduction will mitigate harmful air pollutants that will impact health and well-being.
尤其是喺而家嘅情況咧，甲烷嘅釋放量減低咧，其實係會緩和咗空氣裏邊嘅污染物， 從而改善對我哋身體嘅健康同埋一個好嘅生活環境係有影響嘅。
So this is so important that recycling and composting are required by law, but not just one ordinance, but multiple state laws.
所以咧將廢物分類成為堆肥同埋回收咧，其實唔單止係一條加州嘅法例就可以做到，係需要唔同嘅法例去執行嘅。
So as I said earlier, mandatory recycling ordinance requires businesses to source separate.
正如我正話講過咧，嗰個強制回收法令咧係要求我哋嘅商業咧喺嗰個垃圾源頭嗰度分類。
SB 1383 requires businesses to recover organic materials, but also to donate surplus foods.
1383咧就要求咧我哋要商業咧去捐出食物同埋使用一啲分類出一啲有機物嘅廢物。
AB 341 requires businesses to have recycling service.
AB 341號法令咧就需要我哋嘅商業咧去回收佢哋嘅廢物。
And AB 1826 requires businesses to have organic service.
AB 1826咧就要求我哋嘅商業咧係有堆肥呢種廢物嘅服務。
Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause here to see if anyone has any questions.
我喺度會稍停睇下大家有冇問題想問。
Okay. Well, we're about halfway through. Good job, guys.
我哋大約進行咗一半啦，大家做得好好。
So let's, I want to make this a little bit interactive. Jessica, tell me what are the recyclable materials?
我想咧，我哋呢一節跟住落嚟會比較互動少少。Jessica， 你可唔可以話俾我聽乜嘢係啲係回收嘅物料啊？
It's on the screen, right? The
Well, what?
Most of them are recyclable. All of them, I think.
呢度列出嚟大部分都係可以回收嘅物件嚟，係咪？
So I'm looking for 4 items, right? They're just really very basic descriptions.
我咧其
Paper,
實講就係4種基本嘅分類嘅，回收分類嘅。
paper, metal, glasses, and plastic.
係咪紙啊？金屬、玻璃同埋塑膠。
You're almost there, but I'll just make it easier for you. It's cans, bottles, paper, and cardboard.
OK， 你差唔多啱㗎啦。不過咧，我可以可能簡單少少，就係包括咗鋁罐啦、玻璃樽啦、廢紙啦，同埋嗰啲紙盒。
And the reason why I don't want to say plastic is because not all plastics are recyclable.
我點解唔用塑膠咧？因為唔係所有塑膠都係可以回收嘅。
So for example, we do not want any plastic bags in the recycling.
例如我哋唔希望喺嗰個回收裏邊咧有啲膠袋喺裏邊。
We also do not accept these food to go containers or plastic utensils are disposable.
我亦都喺回收裏邊咧，我哋唔想回收到一啲塑膠嘅食具同埋快餐店所用嘅盛載食物嘅容器。
So of the 4 items I talked about, cans, bottles, papers, and cardboards. Make
所以咧，
sure,
我就將佢哋
sorry, just make sure they're empty of all content, especially for the cans and bottles that they do not have food or liquid in them.
所以咧基本上回收係4種嘅，就係罐啦、玻璃樽啦、紙啦，同埋紙盒，同埋咧亦都要注意咧喺佢哋裏邊最好再唔應該再有殘餘嘅食物或者液體嘅。
And what's also very important is when you take the recycling bin, these recyclable materials to your outside bin, you dispose the items, you empty the items into the bins or the carts without the plastic liner.
所以咧當你將呢啲回收物件攞出去你個回收桶嗰時咧，好重要就係你唔好將你嗰個一個塑膠袋袋住咁一包咁抌落去裏邊。我哋係唔想要到嗰啲塑膠袋嘅。
Does anyone have questions on this before I move on?
唔知有人有冇問題咧？如果冇，我就會繼續啦。
All right, so I am going to call on Dan. Tell me, what are the compostable items, please?
請阿 Dan 同我講講乜嘢係堆肥嘅物料。
I think the compostable items are food and food soil paper and plant material.
我睇到咧就係食物啦，同埋一啲污染咗嘅紙類啦，同埋一啲花園植物嘅嘢。
Cindy, do you agree or do you see anything else?
Cindy， 你同意定唔同意啊？或者有冇唔同嘅意見？
No, I agree.
我同意。
That's great. Yes, so as required by law, the items that must be captured separately are food waste, plant debris, and food soil paper.
係啦，根據法例咧，所有就係同食剩嘅食物啦，用俾食物污染咗嘅紙包啦，同埋植物嘅殘餘都係需要攞去堆肥嘅。
And in Oakland and Alameda County, you are allowed to use a clean liner to hold these items. A clear
喺阿拉美達縣裏邊咧，你可以用一個乾淨嘅膠袋去將呢啲嘢包住嘅。
All right, Brandon, tell me what do you see? What's considered trash?
Brandon 話我聽乜嘢係垃圾啦
？Things that don't go in the recycling or organics or compost. So like plastic bags, polystyrene, masks and gloves.
所有唔可以擺入去堆肥同回收嘅物件都係垃圾嚟嘅，包括咗譬如膠袋啦，或者啲發泡膠啊嘅物品。
What if it has a recycling sign, the chasing arrow sign? What would you do?
如果佢上面有一啲咧有回收嘅標記嘅，咁你會點做咧
？Unless it's a bottle or a can, I will only put those ones that have a recycling sign into the recycling, and the rest go into the trash.
除非佢係一啲玻璃樽或者嗰啲汽水罐，如果唔係咧全部都應該去到垃圾嗰類嘅。
Great, thank you.
好多謝你。
So how can you set up to succeed?
我哋點樣可以做就會成功咧？做得啱咧？
First, you really need to have the collection services.
首先你要有收集垃圾嘅服務啦。
So make sure you have waste, recycling, and organics collection services from us or associated companies.
所以你首先咧要確定咧，你係從我哋或者同我哋有關嘅公司裏邊咧，得到足夠嘅就住廢物啦、回收物啦，或者係有機堆肥嘅食物嘅服務、回收服務。
And inside your stores, restaurants, what we call the back of house, you also need to have containers for staff.
喺你嘅鋪頭裏邊咧，我哋叫做喺呢個鋪頭裏邊咧，你有一啲容器有清楚標示俾你嘅員工知道點樣分類。
So in your kitchen area, for example, you should have organics bins set up close to the food prep area so that the staff can easily access these bins.
譬如例子就係喺個廚房裏邊咧，你要有一啲咧有機回收有機物 品嘅桶喺你預備食物嘅地方附近，使到你嘅員工喺預備食物嗰時咧，將有剩嘅食物可以擺落去係有機堆肥嘅回收桶裏邊。
And your bins should be well labeled and placed right next to each other.
你嗰啲回收唔同嘅桶咧，要有好清晰嘅指示，同埋會擺埋一齊嘅。
And in the front of house, you also need to have the same setup for customers.
而喺你個鋪頭嘅堂面嗰度咧，你係需要亦都有同樣清晰指示嘅唔同類型嘅回收桶。
That means having a waste bin, recycling bin, and organics bin right next to each other with labels on them.
嘅意思即係話咧，喺你個營業大堂裏邊咧，係應該有好清晰指示標記嘅垃圾桶、回收桶同埋堆肥桶擺埋一齊，俾呢個顧客去分類。
And you also need to provide training on recycling and composting, and also monitor your bins for any kind of contamination.
你亦都需要向你嘅員工提供訓練，等佢哋咧知道點樣去做一啲回收同埋堆肥嘅。你亦都需要咧經常檢查咧呢種分類嘅方法係咪有效咁執行。
Does anyone have questions here?
有冇人有問題？
Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, we want to offer you some free resources.
暫時總結咧，我哋希望咧提供一啲免費嘅資源俾各位。
We, as Waste Management, we do provide free virtual training and technical assistance.
我哋公司咧會為大家提供免費嘅網上訓練同埋技術支援。
We also offer free signage for carts and bins and brochures for recycling on recycling and composting requirements.
亦都提供免費嘅回收桶標記同埋個有回收桶，俾你哋嘅回收桶。另外咧，亦都有免費嘅手冊介紹回收同埋堆肥嘅要求係咩？
And Alameda County Stop Waste Agency also provides a $500 grant.
亞拉美達縣嘅 Stop Waste 呢個機構咧，亦都為你哋可以提供一個500蚊嘅室內綠色回收桶嘅資助。
The grant you can use for indoor green bins, but they also have other grants, yearly grants and awards for success.
嗰個500蚊嗰個室內嘅係俾你喺室內用嘅回收桶用啦。佢哋亦都有其他嘅資助幫助你或者去重用回收，亦都有其他你做得好嘅一啲獎勵。
Great. So I am so excited that you are so excited.
我好高興見到大家都咁投入。
We're just going to have a little quiz to wake you up.
我哋只需要有少少一個問答遊戲幫大家記起佢正話講嘅嘢。
So Cindy, tell me, where do these go?
Cindy 話俾我聽，呢啲應該抌去邊度分類？
Trash.
垃圾。
Great. Does anyone agree?
有冇人唔同意咧？
How about these?
呢
Jessica.
啲咧 ？Jessica。
Recycle.
Okay. And do you need to break down the boxes?
有冇將佢程序講清楚啲咧？
Yes.
So breaking down boxes is not really a requirement for us, but it makes a lot of business sense. Because if you don't break down the boxes, it's going to take up space in your bin, and you may end up being charged more for overages if you go over your capacity.
Jessica 話處理呢啲紙箱咧，需要將佢壓平啊咁樣。Miss Lee 就話咧，李小姐就話咧，佢話壓平咧，我哋法例上我哋唔需要求你咁做嘅。不過咧，壓平紙箱咧其實係好有用嘅，因為咧佢 會，如果你唔壓平佢咧，紙箱會佔用咗好多空間，而導致到咧你會有好多呢啲紙皮咧就堆晒出嚟喺嗰個回收桶以外，就會導致可能會被罰款。
And how about you, Dan? What do you do with the cans?
阿 Dan， 你對於啲罐你會點用咧？
I think that you should empty them first before you put them into the bin.
阿 Dan 話咧，你首先咧要清空咗呢啲罐裏邊嘅飲料，然後將佢抌落去個回收桶。
So what if you have a new can of soda that you didn't want to drink? What would you do with it?
如果有一個新嘅你未飲過嘅汽水，你唔想飲嘅，你應該點做咧？
If I wanted to recycle it, I would empty it out first before putting it in. Otherwise, I would just save it.
如果我真係唔想飲嘅話咧，我就首先要清空咗裏邊嘅飲料，之後先再回收，或者擺埋一邊，唔好抌咗佢。
That's correct, guys. So the why I
啱嘅。
is because we do find a lot of cans and bottles with content in them. And for you to save money as a business, you do want to empty this out because sometimes if you have a roll-off, for example, the cost of those services are weighed. So if you, maybe I'll let you translate.
Okay, sorry. 其實都係有意思嘅。點解要清空佢咧？因為咧有時咧，如果你唔清空呢啲罐或者一個玻璃樽裏邊嘅液體咧，或者飲料咧，其實有時咧會你個服務係以重量計算嘅，咁會令到你要付出嘅垃圾費用係會增加嘅。
So just a reminder that if you want to recycle cans and bottles, make sure that you empty out the content.
所以提醒大家下，如果你要如果要回收呢啲飲料嘅鋁罐同埋玻璃樽嗰時咧，要首先清空裏邊嘅飲料同液體。
And how about you, Brandon? What do you do if you're a restaurant or grocery store and you have lots of food that you didn't know what to do with?
或者 Brandon， 你對於如果你係你個雜貨鋪或者你個食物店裏面好多食物多咗出嚟嘅，你應該點做咧？
我擺入邊嘅堆肥係咪 the organics?
I would put in the composting organic bin.
Okay, so what are you going to do with the packaged foods?
對嗰啲有包裝嘅，你會點做咧？食物
？Unpackage it and then throw the food into the compost and then the packaging into the trash.
我會拆開嗰啲包裝，將食物擺落去堆肥嗰個回收桶，將其他嘅包裝物料就擺去垃圾桶。
That's right. Again, this is a common contaminant that we see in the organics bin. We do not want any plastics or its wrappings, food wrappings, to be part of the compost collection.
Brandon 嘅答案係啱㗎，因為咧我哋絕對唔想喺嗰個堆肥嘅回收桶裏邊見到任何塑膠或者包裝用嘅物料喺裏邊。
And if they're good edible foods, you want to consider donating them.
如果啲食物上可以食用嘅咧，你應該可以考慮將佢捐出嚟。
Just so you know, in 2022, there is 1383 that will require certain businesses to donate food.
想同大家講聲，喺2022年開始咧，法例要求某一啲商業咧，係要捐出多餘嘅食物嘅。
Cindy, do you know where you can donate food in Alameda County?
Cindy， 你知唔知喺阿拉美達縣裏邊有咩地方可以捐呢啲食物咧？
Bank? I'm not sure. Food bank?
Yeah.
食物銀行係咪咧？係咪食物銀行咧？係。
That's right. So I will not go in details, but just when you get to 2022 or prior, start thinking about how to donate your surplus foods, and the food bank is a good place to start.
我希望你咧都已經預先籌謀，喺2022年之前咧已經知道點樣處理呢啲未可以食得嘅食物嘅， 食物啊，係一個好嘅選擇。
I think I'll spare you with more quizzes. I think you're all doing really well. I will skip it. This is obviously, I hope everyone knows, trash. And these are can be contentious items because some haulers do accept them, but they are actually not easily processed and we do not accept them, and they're not required by law. In fact, the styrofoam is actually banned in Oakland. So for business owners, just so you know that is also a Oakland requirement that you do not use polystyrene foam.
首先咧，最後呢啲咧就係啲膠盒同埋尤其是發泡膠本身咧，係歐倫市係而家係禁止使用嘅。咁咧，我哋咧亦都唔會回收佢嘅。
Great. Well, that's all I have for you guys, and thank you for your patience. I mean, it's not easy to do a translation like this, but thank you for your patience and staying with us till now.
好多謝各位咁有耐性聽到我哋講到呢度，我預備咗要做報告就係咁多啦。我知道咧又要聽埋翻譯咧為大家唔係容易嘅，不過我預備嘅到咁多係多謝各位。
So I'll turn it back to you, Jessica.
Yes, thank you, Echo. Yeah, so now is the time we can do the Q&A, and I wonder if anybody have any question how we can do composting and recycling better. For example, myself, I recently started to have a tiny composting bin on the kitchen counter, and then so try, to see how we can, make sure we do composting correctly.
跟住落嚟而家係問答時間，大家都分享下。Jessica 正話分享咗咧，就話咧佢點樣可以製造一堆肥嘅，就喺佢個廚房嗰個台面嗰度咧有個細細角嘅堆肥回收桶，希望佢自己開始係睇下可以點樣將堆肥呢啲回收做得更加好。
Maybe I want to. Oh, Erica,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Erica 請講咧。
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I could not talk earlier. Thank you for the presentation. And I have a couple of questions. First is, what kind of compostable liners can be used for the organic bin? Thank you.
So
Do I need to translate this? I just want to know.
Yeah, you can translate because we're recording it, so we can use for later.
係Jessica 問咧有啲乜嘢嘅袋或者一啲盛載有機會堆肥物嘅袋係可以用嘅咧咁樣。
So in Oakland, you can use BPI certified compostable bags.
喺屋崙咧，你可以用嗰啲叫做 BPI 核准嘅堆肥用嘅袋。
Or a clear liner would work just as fine for us.
或者一個乾淨嘅袋都係冇問題嘅。
Oh, thank you. For the clear liner, if it is plastic, is it fine?
Yes.
為咗個乾淨袋，即係咪膠袋都得咧？Miss Lee 就話係可以嘅。
Are you thinking for setting up in a restaurant or a household for the inside collection?
I'm just curious about the process. I'm actually in Southern California, but at least in my county, we are trying to set up in city of Irvine is trying to set up the residential collection for the organics. But as of now, I just talked to some representative yesterday from Waste Management. They said until now they are still not accepting the organics in the compostable bag or any kind of bag because of the sorry, I talk too much. You probably difficult to translate later or should I stop right now or?
Let me make the interpretation for this moment, and then you can carry on. Erica 其實佢話佢喺南加州嗰度嘅，佢住喺 Irvine 嗰度嘅。咁咧佢想知道咧佢哋點樣去佢哋試咧準備咧去做嗰個回收做得好一啲咁樣咁咧就睇先做係啦，佢哋佢尋日同 Waste Management 喺佢哋嗰個市嘅代表傾過，佢話到而家為止咧，佢哋都係唔收一啲任何袋喺嗰個堆肥嗰個回收桶裏邊嘅。
So I would say it really depends on the area and the jurisdiction. I know for us, most of the cities here in Alameda County, we do accept the clear liner for the organic waste. I don't really know enough about our operations in Southern California to know their practice. I would say also for residential, really what most of our contract, and this is what I want everyone to know too, is we provide a small indoor bin that can go to the top of the counters for the individual residents. And that's something we provide to multi-family units as well as single family units.
Waste Management 嘅李小姐話咧，佢話呢個真係要視乎嘅地區同埋當地嘅法例係點樣㗎啦。佢哋喺呢度阿拉美達縣大部分地區咧都係可以接受乾淨嘅袋去裝住嗰啲有機嘅堆肥物嘅。咁咧就至於嗰個家居服務嗰方面咧，佢哋會提供一個細嘅可以擺喺廚房個台頭上邊作為回收用途嘅桶嘅，就會俾一啲多單位嘅住宅同埋獨立屋可以使用。
And I would say for the small indoor residence bins, I personally, for example, I just line it with newspaper. And that's probably like a really good environmentally friendly way of capturing your organic waste.
就住呢個細個喺室內可以用嘅堆肥回收桶咧，我通常就會用一啲報紙包住嗰啲殘餘嘅食物，呢個其實係一個好有效對環境有利嘅回收方法。
And obviously for larger generators, let's say if you're a restaurant or a grocery store, I think if you are able to keep that material like a bin designated with just food waste, I have seen it to be quite effective also without the liner.
至於較大型嘅單位，譬如酒樓或者雜貨店咧，只要你將佢擺喺指定嘅堆肥回收桶裏邊咧，其實你唔係好需要用好多嘅包裝包住佢，就可以將回收嘅有機物咧擺翻落去嗰度就得㗎啦。
Thank you. Yeah. Can I ask follow-up questions?
Yeah, please.
Oh, yeah. I'm just very curious about your operation because if both the compostable bag and the plastic liners are accepted, how are you going to do the processing when you collect them? Are you going to break the bags apart, or the compostable bags can also be sent to your composting facility? Thank you.
Erica 正話問一個問題，好 sorry，佢話佢都想知多少少嗰個處理嘅程序，即係佢哋你哋垃圾回收公司咧，如果可以接受一啲乾淨嘅膠袋袋住啲有機嘅堆肥回收物，咁你哋係咪返到公司裏邊就有人將佢分類啊？因為嗰啲物品其實係可以自己分解咧咁樣。
So I think that really depends on your jurisdiction. In our areas, we have a way of processing the clear bags and the BPI certified bags, and that is why we are able to take them.
呢個亦都真係視乎你住個區域嘅法例係點樣㗎啦。因為咧喺我哋嘅而家服務呢個範圍裏邊咧，我哋係有能力咧有處理咧將嗰個 BPI 嗰個標準嗰個回收袋同埋一啲普通嘅乾淨嘅膠袋分開嘅。
So, it depends on what's happening in Southern California. And again, I don't know enough about it. You would need to work with the hauler to understand what their process.
由於我對南加州嘅情況唔係好了解，你係需要同翻你哋南加州回收嗰方面咧去商討明瞭佢哋嗰個過程處理嘅方法。
Okay, thank you. So I'm just very curious. Can the compostable bags go into your composting facility? Because if it is BPI certified, it should be able to be composted in your commercially composting facility, right?
Well,
咁咧其實我真係想知道嗰啲乾淨嘅膠袋同埋一個譬如 BPI 核准嘅嗰種回收袋咧，係可以係點樣喺嗰個回收桶裏邊可以擺埋一齊咁樣？
So I would say it depends. And like you said, BPI bags can only be processed by a very particular type of facility.
首先咧好似你講啦嗰啲BPI 批准嘅回收袋咧，只係喺部分嘅回收點係可以處理嘅啫。
Now, in reality, we have seen a lot of studies, including compostable ware, not just the liners, that they do not break down in compostable facilities because there aren't facilities around.
我哋都見到真係好多啲乾淨嘅膠袋咧，係嗰個回收個過程裏邊咧，我哋冇辦法處理嘅，因為唔係好多可以處理呢啲唔同類型嘅膠袋啊，或者嘅回收站嘅。
So, I mean, to answer your question, really, that's a discussion between the hauler processor and the jurisdiction to understand what works, what's available locally, so that they can know how to set that up for the customers.
所以咧，要回答你嘅問題咧，係需要咧你哋自己當地嘅執法機構啦，同埋嗰個負責收垃圾嗰個公司啦，同埋回收處理廠嗰個唔同嘅持份者一齊去商討點樣去處理個問題。
Oh, thank you. So, because when Echo was talking about the facility, because that part was kind of like I didn't hear it. Did you say there are not so many composting facility that can process the compostable liners or compostable utensils?
Yeah, so composting is really, they're trying to capture the three items I mentioned, right? Food, soil, paper, your food waste, and your plant debris. These are the targeted items. Compostable, do you want to translate that first? Sorry.
You go ahead and then I do it.
Compostable ware isn't really our target. That was really kind of a thing that came up to facilitate businesses, but that was not something that's really easy to break down and add a lot of value in terms of creating compost from the items that we're collecting.
I'll try to, even I cannot fully understand what you say, but I try.
Very technical.
Yes. 個問題咧就係咧正話李小姐回答呢個問題嗰時，好似曾經講過咧，可以處理啲呢啲可以堆肥用嘅袋嘅設施係咪唔係好多咁？李小姐就回答咧就係話因為咧其實咧佢哋服務嘅只要想堆肥回收嘅有機物咧係3種嘅，淨係講咗係即係食物啦。食物紙張啦，同埋食物污染咗嘅嗰啲紙嘅紙盒咁樣樣。咁至於嗰啲由於個裏邊係非常之技術性嘅，所以咧翻譯員未必好清楚咁可以知道其實係咪 李小姐正話所講咧，就係嗰啲回收用嘅膠袋可以作為堆肥用嘅膠袋本身咧係非常之難，都唔係咁容易可以去堆肥回收嘅，所以咧會令到嗰個過程咧增加好多困難同埋資源落去嘅。
So BPI plastic, right? It's still plastic. And when you make compost at home, you're not adding plastic into your compost bin.
BPI 嗰個曾經核准嘅回收袋，其實都仲係一種塑膠袋嚟嘅，所以咧就算我哋喺屋企做堆肥嚟嗰時咧，我哋亦都唔會將任何塑料嘅容器咧或者膠袋擺落去我哋自己屋企裏邊嘅堆肥裏邊。
So I hope that answers the question. That's why BPI items, whether it's a liner or disposable ware or cups, they're not really the main ingredients that we look for to turn food waste into a good pile of compost.
我希望我答到正話 Erica 嘅問題，因為咧我哋始終都認為咧嗰啲就算係可以分解嘅膠袋或者乾淨膠袋咧，唔係我哋喺回收有機物裏邊咧希望處理嘅太多呢一類型嘅物料嘅。
Okay, thank you. So Echo, thank you for your answer. So in the end, if the restaurant they bag their compostable with the compostable liners, may I ask what happens to those bags if you think they cannot really be decomposed in your composting facility, or just I'm just curious about the process because you accept both, right? So it's just curious about the processing. How do you process them? Thank you.
It depends on the hauler. We are filtering them out, and I know some other haulers are filtering them out. Again, it's just the combination of, when I talk to a composter, really you're looking for certain materials to turn the compost, these food waste into compost. And there needs to be a certain percentage of items that they're looking for to make that mix happen. And again, if we have a load that's overwhelmed with compostable ware, they're just going to have to kind of find the right balance of that mix to turn materials back into compost.
Eric 好多謝正話Echo 答咗嘅問題，佢想再追問，想問多少少就係，若果真係喺嗰啲回收嗰個有機嘅堆肥物裏邊咧，包括咗嗰啲可分解嘅或者一啲膠袋裏邊咧，具體嗰啲嘢分咗出嚟會去又點咧咁樣？李小姐就話佢呢個真係要視乎即係嚟收垃圾嗰間公司去點做，有啲公司咧會將佢哋分類咗出嚟嘅。佢哋waste management 都會將佢分類咗出嚟嘅，但係咧點樣去成功去做呢一個堆肥成為有效嘅一啲肥田料咁樣嘅咧，就係需要唔同嘅物料嘅百分比咧去配對嘅。若果太多呢啲雖然係 BPI 核准嘅膠袋係可以分解，但係咧如果佢百分比比較多咧，佢仍然係未必可以達到堆肥所預期嘅效果嘅。
So I hope that answers your question, Erica. I would say have a look at BioCycle. That's a really good website that kind of breaks down a little bit more the processing of organics and BPI and how they've been working, in terms of turning those items into compost. But we are a little bit over time. So Jessica, I want to turn it back to you, how you want to proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Echo. Oh, sorry.
Okay, let me yes. 好多謝Erica 你問嘅問題啦。咁咧我推介你咧去睇一睇 BioCycle 呢個網頁，裏邊咧包括咗好多堆肥回收佢哋點樣處理啲喺個堆肥物裏邊嘅塑料嘅問題嘅。你喺中位嗰度揾到有用嘅資源嘅。咁由於我哋而家已經過咗少少時間，我將時間交翻俾Jessica。
Right, thank you everybody. Thank you Echo, and thank you Erica. Asked a lot of good questions. We don't really know about it. That's why we're here to learn about it. And go ahead.
好多謝各位，尤其是阿 Erica 問咗多好有趣同埋好有見地嘅問題，我哋基本上都冇諗過呢啲咁嘅問題添。多謝你提出嘅問題，同埋各位今日嚟參加。
Yeah, as Waste Management actually in charge most Alameda County's trash service. So we partner with them, and hopefully those information can go to every city.
Waste Management 啲公司咧喺我哋阿拉美大園大部分嘅地方咧負責回收各種嘅回收物嘅，所以我哋希望可以同佢合作，同佢哋舉辦活動，亦都可以將佢哋呢啲服務可以擴展到去其他城市。
Yeah, and actually, Erica, you may want to check your city or your county and looking for more information because, for example, Waste Management working with a county and we have an authority called Stop Waste. So they've been doing really good, Stop Waste education and advocacy, and then and if you go to, for example, so like Stop Waste is our main resource, and then we go to the website and then we can check and break down to different cities. So actually, I also learned that, the city next to where I live, the composting requirements a little bit different. So every city, they all have their own, what they want to do, what they cannot. But always go to your city or county to looking for those information.
Jessica 話咧，請阿 Erica 如果有興趣咧，去睇翻你所居住或者營商嘅城市或者縣嘅政府網頁咧，得知到更加多嘅資源同埋佢哋嘅做法係點樣嘅。咁咧譬如我哋喺阿拉美達縣 Oakland 呢度咧，我哋由於可以同政府有同埋 Waste Management 嘅聯繫，我哋可以用到 Stop Waste 呢個資源咧。去做教育咧，同埋去做倡導嘅服務嘅。咁所以咧，如果想知道更仔細或者更切合你自己個業務或者居住地方嘅服務咧，最好都係翻自己嗰個城市同埋縣嗰個政府嘅網頁裏邊去獲得資料。
Yeah, and today, thank you very much for everybody to join to this webinar, and we discuss and share some thoughts. And if you have any more questions, you can always contact Oakland Chinatown Chamber of Commerce or me, and then I can forward your question to ACO, or if we have any resource or answer we can share, we definitely will do that.
好多謝今日嚟參加呢個網上嘅會議。若果大家咧有任何嘅問題或者任何建議咧，請你唔好猶豫同我哋屋崙華埠商會聯絡，同我聯絡，我會將你哋嘅意見喺我哋嘅範圍之內回答你，或者有咩資源可以提供俾你哋，亦都可以將我哋嘅問題咧帶到去俾Waste Management Echo 睇下佢點可以幫到大家。
Okay, all right, thank you everyone. Have a good evening.
多謝各位。Okay, 拜拜。
Thank you. Bye.